girls, 13 houses, one lifelong commitment. On August 20th, 2012, one of the most exciting weeks of my life began. I moved into the all-girls dorm at the University of Kansas. My roommate and I made sure that everything was perfectly coordinated. Our room was black, pink, and glitter. After tearful goodbyes, our parents left and we were completely on our own. No longer than an hour after these goodbyes, though, we began a week filled with small talk, house tours, and new friends. Even though the week was stressful and at times emotional, the outcome made everything worth it. Finding an organization that fit my personality seemed like an impossible task, but there's no doubt in my mind that I found a place in Gamma Phi Beta, even in a college hundreds of miles away from my home. Fall Formal Recruitment, or RUSH, is a 4-day-long process where I attended socials with different sororities on the University of Kansas's campus. This particular week was humid, rainy, and hot. The combination was brutal when trying to look my best, but thanks to my umbrella and my hairbrush, I made it work as well as I could. The first day of RUSH was the worst. I went to all 13 houses. We were greeted with enormous smiles and loud voices. It was a whirlwind of enthusiasm, perfume, and awkward hugs. The current members seemed to know every detail about the other girls and me. Making small talk with 3 different girls at every house was ridiculously exhausting. The conversation topics varied from cheerleading to penguins to volunteering, but 9 hours of talking is a bit excessive, regardless of the topic. The next few days became easier as the number of houses I visited became smaller and smaller. However, because the number of houses I went to shrank, the time spent at each house increased. By the end of the week, I spent an hour and a half at each house. Each and every house on campus was large and beautiful. Some of the houses were better decorated than others, but all of them were stunning. The yards were perfectly manicured. The trees were trimmed to perfection, the flowers were bright, and the grass was green and freshly mowed. Greek letters were prominent on the front of every house. On the first day, Gamma Phi Beta stood out to me. The beautiful red brick house with white accents was breathtaking. The front door was grand, and the Greek letters were proudly displayed above the front door. The large trees in the yard gave the house a homey feel, and the front patio was a place I could picture myself studying. The girls at Gamma Phi Beta were warm and welcoming. I quickly felt like Gamma Phi Beta could be my home away from home. As the week progressed and the number of houses I visited dwindled, Gamma Phi Beta remained one of my favorites. I hoped they would offer me a bid. After waiting an entire weekend to find out if I had received a bid from Gamma Phi Beta, Monday finally arrived. I walked into an enormous ballroom filled with anxious girls, nervously awaiting the envelopes that would change our futures. It took all of my self-control not to open the card. As soon as we got the okay to open the cards, I tore the paper open in a frenzy. The black ink formed the Greek letters for Gamma Phi Beta, and my heart leapt in my chest. The house of my dreams had chosen me, and I knew the next 4 years were going to be amazing. Fitting 2,000 girls in 13 houses is impossible. Some might say that finding a home away from home in just a week is even more impossible. For me, Gamma Phi Beta made my freshman year unforgettable. I know that the next 3 years of my college career will be even better. Even after graduation, I will have a network of thousands of sisters across the country. Dealing with the rain, humidity, and heat for a week was well worth it. Now, I have a house and 200 sisters. Fall Formal Recruitment was truly life-changing. I wouldn't trade the stress I endured during the rush for anything. It turned out to be one of the best weeks of my life.